What is up, guys? It's Jaden here, and if you haven't seen Nightclone's video on World War II versus Battlefield 1, then this is why I'm making this video. In this video, he said Battlefield 1 is the superior game over Call of Duty. But my sorry self, with 20 days played on Modern Warfare 3, I have to disagree. Why I disagree is because I overall just love Call of Duty better. I love the franchise, I love more games, and I'm not trying to diss him in any way, but I just like Call of Duty better. So I made this video to go over the history of the Call of Duty franchise versus the Battlefield franchise. Okay, let's do this. So Call of Duty and Battlefield were competition since back in 2005. After the successful COD 1 was made, with EA and DICE releasing Battlefield 2 and Infinity Ward, and I can't really pronounce it, Aspyr making COD 2. Call of Duty 2 was released on October 25th, while Battlefield 2 was released 4 months before. They were both really good games, but COD still outsold Battlefield. Battlefield 2 sold about 2.2 million copies, while COD 2 sold 5.9 million copies. That's about 3 times as much. Good job, Battlefield. You got outsold again. Then Treyarch released COD 3 and COD 4 Modern Warfare, which was very well taken by the community. Everyone loved it. COD 4 sold 7 million copies worldwide, and many people still play it today. Finally, EA and DICE make Battlefield Bad Company, which was released in June 23rd, 2008, selling 9 million copies over various platforms. And then, 5 months later, Treyarch and many other companies worked together to create COD World at War, which sold 11 million copies, and yet again Battlefield gets sold out by Call of Duty. On March 2nd, 2010, Bad Company 2 was released. Bad Company 2 received a lot of love because of its enhanced graphics compared to the previous games. That same year, on November 9th, Call of Duty Black Ops was released, also being very loved because of its multiplayer and storyline. That year, Call of Duty received the award for Best Shooter Game of the Year, while Bad Company 2 was awarded for the Best Audio of the Year. Bad Company 2 sold about 2.3 million copies in Europe and North America, while Call of Duty sold 25 million copies worldwide, which is almost about 11 times more than Bad Company. I mean, like, come on, Battlefield, I know you can do better than that. And now on to my favorite Call of Duty game, Modern Warfare 3. It was released on November 8th, 2011 by Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Sledgehammer Games, and Raven Software. This game was loved so much because it was the last installment to the Modern Warfare series. Thousands of people still play the game today, including myself. And then Battlefield 3, which was released a month before, which was actually made on October 25th. And again, Battlefield offered better graphics than COD, but COD offered better game modes, just more game modes in general, and better DLC. But Modern Warfare 3 sold, get this, 6.5 million copies on the day of launch. That means Treyarch just put the game out and it sold about 6.5 million copies the first day, the first 24 hours it was out, which was absolutely amazing. And then, when it was all over and done, sold 30.5 million copies in total, while Battlefield 3 sold like 12.2 million copies. Modern Warfare 3 got another award for the Best Shooter Game of the Year, and Battlefield 3 still only had the best audio. And also, did you know that Modern Warfare 3 is the best-selling Call of Duty game ever made? Like, if you look at the selling rates, it's better than every other Call of Duty ever made. And the only thing that was close to outselling Modern Warfare 3 was Modern Warfare 2, which was released before it in the first place. And now for Battlefield 4, which is my favorite Battlefield game ever made. As always, it was released by EA and DICE on October 29, 2013, and with every Battlefield game ever made, there was a Call of Duty made that same year. And that Call of Duty was Call of Duty Ghosts, which was released on November 5th by Infinity Ward, Treyarch, and Raven. But for some reason, COD Ghosts wasn't as well received as the older games were. But Battlefield 4 was a very loved game. Again, enhancing graphics and some other things that made the game better. Ghosts was the last Call of Duty to be on the Xbox 360 and a PS3 only, but was later made to work on the Xbox One and the PS4. But Battlefield 4 stayed on the 360 and PS4 for a while until later it was made backwards compatible, along with its older brother, Battlefield 3. COD Ghosts sold about 20.5 million copies, but Battlefield 4 sold about 8 million copies. And yet again, coming short over Call of Duty. And then Battlefield Hardline. It was released on March 17, 2015 by EA and DICE and a couple other companies. People said it looked exactly the same as Battlefield 4, but the maps were a lot more open and players had a lot more freedom. Call of Duty released another futuristic game after Advanced Warfare, and that game was Black Ops 3, which was released on November 6, 2015 by Treyarch and Raven, and it was also supported by Activision. Black Ops 3 was a really good game, but lacked from its crappy campaign and its supply drop system. Another futuristic COD was the last thing the community wanted, and the story wasn't quite a sequel to the Black Ops series, plus the storyline was confusing. Black Ops 3 felt more like a standalone game instead of the third Black Ops in the series. And also it looked trash on the 360 and the PS4, and also was the last Call of Duty game to be on the 360 before they stopped making them for the 360. It sold about 25.2 million copies on multiple different platforms, while Hardline, I couldn't get the exact number of copies sold, but IGN.com said about 10 million copies in the first year of its release. Now for the moment of truth, Battlefield 1. It was released by EA and DICE on October 21st, 2016. The game was made to take place in 1943 during World War I, which was known to be one of the deadliest wars ever. In this game, you're set into the eyes of multiple different characters in a telltale fraction. And in November 4th, 2016, Infinity Ward made Infinite Warfare, which was the laughingstock of the franchise, because BO3 did so well that they decided to take it further with the exosuits, and in doing so, they almost slaughtered their own franchise. But Modern Warfare Remastered was also bundled with Infinite Warfare, just to sell the game better. The only reason Infinite Warfare did so good was because people only bought it to get Modern Warfare Remastered, which is the better game. If not for Modern Warfare Remastered, it would just be Infinite Warfare would just be that game on a shelf that nobody wants to buy. Battlefield 1 sold 16.5 million copies that year, and Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Remastered only sold 12.5 million. Finally, Battlefield, they did it. They finally outsold Call of Duty. Well, they outsold the worst Call of Duty. They outsold the only Call of Duty nobody wanted to buy. Maybe Modern Warfare Remastered would have done better if it had a chance without it being bundled with Infinite Warfare, which was a game nobody wanted. What's funny is nowhere on Infinite Warfare is there a Treyarch symbol or any sign of Treyarch. I guess they probably dipped before they could be held responsible for making a game like that. But that's not all. And then Call of Duty makes its comeback with World War II. A game that takes place in World War II, of course, and shows how your character survived and plays his role in the war. so far it's the newest Call of Duty out and being made by Raven and Sledgehammer. I don't know why, but it's always Raven making the good Call of Duties these days. But it's one of the strongest and well-received Call of Duties with an amazing story, multiplayer, and really, really good graphics. It was released on November 3rd, 2017, not too long ago, selling 25 million copies so far. And COD finally made its comeback on Battlefield. So, tell me which franchise that you like better in the comments. For me, it's Call of Duty because I just played Call of Duty all my life and I'm not good at Battlefield, so, and that's not really why. I just like Call of Duty better because they have a lot more games than Battlefield. They have a lot more variety, game modes, and it's a lot more competitive in Call of Duty. And it's a lot easier to play with your friends and stuff. So yeah, that's another thing. I just love I love Battlefield, but I like Call of Duty better. And I really think Call of Duty made its comeback and set the bar with World War II. And I can't wait to see what Call of Duty can do next year, and what Battlefield can throw at it, but somehow still get outsold. But thank you guys for watching this video. Tell me what you like better in the comments, Battlefield or Call of Duty. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.